when I was first getting out, I was like, maybe I'll just go to school and get an English degree or something just for fun. But when I look at my life, all of the biggest life shifting, life changing moments never happened inside of a therapist's office. It never happened, you
Mm.
know, based on some piece of research that I read. It all happened based on like a fiction novel or reading, reading Choke by Chuck Palahniuk or watching Charlie die on Lost or something that happened like through media and
Hmm.
storytelling. And so that's like I'm kind of in this weird limbo right now. Like, oh, I'm very new in
Mm.
academia and very new in that process. And it's really fun to kind of look at it like and how it and the military like have very similar challenges because
Mm.
they're both businesses and how they're both very, very extrinsically motivated. And to kind of find like a more productive version of myself to insert and help fix those problems there while getting an education there as well. And part of me wants to, I mean, there's a huge part of me, I bring up the book very intentionally. I've written a small piece of a book that was published a couple years ago, but like doing one of my own is a big project that I want to do.
Mm.
And just in one semester in school, like when you're really focused on like the iron's hot. And so I'm like really bing, bing, the writing thing, like really
Uh-huh.
taking it seriously. I've learned so much in just this 3 months, and so
What's your book about? What are you writing about? If you
about
don't.
the no wooden ships and
Mm.
enrolling sailors and mental health and the way that we could be better if we led from a place of love instead from a place of fear. So the working title is Love-Based Leadership and
Love-based
how
leadership.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah. And so how my theory is that if we as an entirety, everybody, because again, the vast majority follows and leads from fear.
Mm-hmm.
If the vast majority of us followed and led from love, we would stop dropping bombs in other countries. We would stop enrolling into places that drop bombs into other countries. We would, you know, pull our forces back. And I don't want to take away the fact that there are bad things that happen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to take away the fact that if we decide to no longer be the superpower in the world, that somebody else will take that place. I don't want to take that away. So I'm very interested in finding a way to do more good in the world because as far as militarily speaking, I don't think we're doing more good than we are doing harm. I
Sure.
think the world police metaphor is very, very accurate. Just where, we'll save one person and blow up 10,000. And it's just our priorities are very emotional, but like from a 6-year-old emotional perspective, like people that are 75 years old are operating on programs that were put in place when they were 6
Mm-hmm.
and they're just not aware of it. They're very good at what they do, and they're
I like what you're talking about is like transforming the energy, and really your story is really cool because transforming this energy from sort of the fear base, and I would use the word like destructive sort of
yeah.
energy where
Hmm.
the energy of destruction is very much part of your like tool belt.
Hmm. For sure. Because there are
But
parts of my coaching where it's like, all right, let's go get the hammer and break this apart. Because
yeah,
but yeah, but like,
sometimes you had to.
yeah,
It's
sometimes you got
part
to.
the energy of destruction is part of life, right? Birth,
Yeah.
growth, and decay. That is the cycle of life: birth, growth, and decay.
Hmm.
We see that in relationships, businesses, the natural world, right? This is the cycle of life: birth, growth, and decay. So it's I'm not trying to pretend like destruction isn't a part of the general forces in
No.
life, but
Mm-mm.
we do have we have free will as human beings, and we can choose to work with different energies, and there's appropriate times to work with
Hmm.
the destruction energy. But your story is cool because you talk about transforming this. Like I was involved in this big machine of sort of destructive energy, and to me the sort of like pinpoint shift a lot of us hopefully can do is recognizing the destructive energy, flipping it on its head, and choosing to use creative energy.
Hmm.
And it's sort of like a fork in the road, right? So I like to talk about ways that art can change the world.
Mm.
And point one is when you get to this fork in the road, and instead of choosing a destructive energy, you choose a creative energy output. But it's not just enough. That's first step. Choosing creation versus destruction. Step one. The second step is not just choosing to create something that's powerful in itself, but
Mm-hmm.
what if we chose to create something that gave back, something functional? So now I'm not just creating a warship or a gun or something destructive. I'm gonna create a fountain where people can get water from or something like that.
Mm.
It's building functional art. So it's not just creating something that happens, creating something that serves a purpose that gives back to the broader community, right? And this is how art can start to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Siphoning off destruction energy into creative energy and making sure that you're not just creating something selfish, but you're creating something that serves. Something like a
Mm-hmm.
book that tells a story,
Yeah,
or a
exactly.
business holds people as they're sort of working through an uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
transformation.
Mm-hmm. Mm.